Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. My name is Eve. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. We are going to be talking about every single book I read in the month of February. Now, this video is going to be pretty late because I have been procrastinating it. My monthly wrap-ups are like my least favorite videos to film because it's so hard for me to remember all my thoughts on the books I read over the last month, and I never write any of my thoughts down, so I don't have like notes or anything, so just bear with me. We're just gonna get through this. I only read 8 books in the month of February and actually only like 5 full-length novels, so hopefully this video won't take very long. There's a couple dogs I'm house sitting. I'm in a new location, obviously. I'm house sitting right now for my in-laws, and so if you hear any dog noises, it's because there's dogs. I also do not have any of the books with me because I am house sitting, but I just figured I have the time to film right now, so let's just do this. So the very first book I read in February was The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. This is by Shannon Chakraborty, and I unfortunately did not like this book. This book is about a retired pirate named Amina Al-Sarafi. She's now middle-aged, she has a daughter, she has moved on from the pirate life, or so she thought, because someone one day comes to her house and says, "Hey, I have a job for you." This woman's granddaughter has been kidnapped and she wants Amina to go rescue her. This whole book, we're kind of just like reassembling Amina's old crew back together, and they're going on this voyage to go find this missing girl. I thought this was going to be super exciting and like high stakes and everything, but for the majority of it, it just kind of was not. I think this is mostly like a book for the cozy fantasy readers, which I am not a fan of cozy fantasy. I just, in general, do not like cozy books. I like feeling like everyone's life is at stake at all times and things could go wrong at any moment. This is Roxy. She's coming to say hi. Did you just eat? Your breath smells so stinky. The way the story is written is Amina is actually telling this story to like a journalist. And for some reason that just didn't work for me. I could never be fully engaged in the story. I tried to read this book physically, but that also wasn't working well for me. So I had to like listen to it. I don't know. I just really overall did not enjoy this book, and I don't think I'll be continuing in the series whenever the sequel comes out. So I give this one 2.5 stars. Okay, you guys to let me film a video. Oh, I know. Hopefully you guys don't mind Roxy being in the video. The next book I read was Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home, and thankfully this one was a 5-star read. I had so much fun reading this. Magnolia Parks is just about this group of friends. I think they're called like the Box Set or something like that. Ooh, don't mess with that. But they're just these rich London socialites. The whole world revolves around them. They are mega rich. They're always just leaving to go on these crazy vacations whenever they want to. And there is always so much drama going on in their lives. Magnolia Park specifically is about a girl. Okay, Roxy, come over here. It's about this girl named Magnolia Parks and this boy named BJ Ballantyne. They are meant to be together. They are their one true loves, yet for certain reasons they just can't seem to find themselves in a committed relationship with each other. So the whole book is just like going back and forth. Will they, won't they? Drama, hurting each other, like just one thing after another. And then Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home is the 3rd book in a series, so obviously I can't tell too much, if anything, about what goes on in this story, but just know I gave this 5 stars. It was so juicy, it was so dramatic, and I loved it. I picked it up at the right time, and I'm very glad I did so, because I feel like if I picked it up at a different time, I wouldn't have given it 5 stars, but I picked it up when I thought that it sounded good, and you know what? I had the best time ever reading this. The next book I read was Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. This one is a book about a horror movie. Back in the day, there was this horror movie that was written and parts of it were filmed, but it was never released to the public because something tragic happened. So in this book, we are getting different point of views. One of the point of views is from when the original movie was being filmed, and so you're getting that whole point of view. And then There's a shorter, smaller point of view about the film is getting recreated now in current day, and there's only one person who is still alive from the original movie, and he is helping to create this movie's reboot. And then you're getting a third POV, and that is actually the screenplay. You're reading the screenplay from the movie, and it is so good. It is really scary in my opinion. Other people think it is not so much scary, but I was pretty much on edge and freaked out the entire time I was reading this. And I was paranoid for like a week straight after reading this, and I don't think I'll be able to read a thriller for a while, a few months or so. But besides that, it was so good. I loved how you couldn't quite figure out where the movie like blended into reality. It seemed like there was a bit of paranormal activity going on, which I don't like, but it wasn't, I don't know how to explain this well. Like, it didn't feel like demonic kind of paranormal stuff. It just felt like weird supernatural weirdness. I loved it. I gave this one 5 stars. I would highly recommend if you like thriller but also kind of horror. But if you're a big horror fan, I would say this is probably not going to scare you. But for me, who does not read horror, I will not read horror, I really liked this one, and I gave it 5 stars. Then I read The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This is book number 1 in a duology. I don't know what the duology is called, but it is following this boy named Oak and this girl named Wren. And it takes place, I think it was like 7 years after the ending of the Cruel Prince trilogy, which a lot of people have probably heard of. Cruel Prince follows a girl named Jude, and The Stolen Heir follows her brother named Oak. It is overall a romantasy. They are trying to overthrow this power, and Oak needs Wren's help to do that. They are both fairies. I don't know, it was just very good. It's hard for me to even explain what this book is about because it's like, there's so much going on. But I would say if you like romantasy, if you like fairies, but not like the ACOTAR fairies, more like the darker, more like whimsical fairies, I would say pick this series up, but definitely read The Cruel Prince first because it gives you, it's just so good. It's just so good. That one was a 5-star series for me. This book in particular was a 4.5 star book for me. It was nearly perfect, but just not quite there. I loved the character Wren. She was so wonderful, and I really enjoyed Oak too. But yeah, there were just qualities that weren't quite perfect, but I honestly can't even tell you what it is. It's just in my brain, it wasn't perfect. And then I also read the sequel and the final book in the duology, which was called The Prisoner's Throne. This was so well done. It's like an enemies to lovers kind of deal, which is most of our favorite trope. It was just so wonderful, and I can't wait to read the series over again. I gave the sequel 4.5 stars as well. I loved it so much. And then I read Charlotte's Web, which is my childhood favorite book. It's just like a little chapter book about Wilbur, who is a pig. He was the runt of the family, so he was going to be killed. But the farmer's daughter, Fern, begs for him to be saved. Oh, hi Bruno. So he goes to live on Fern's uncle's farm, and he meets a spider named Charlotte, and they form this friendship, and it is very sweet and so sad. The ending, I literally cried. I used to read this book and watch this movie all the time, and so it was just kind of like a really sweet, special reread for me. I've got 2 dogs around me now, and they like to snort and make all sorts of noises. Let's wrap this up. So then I read 2 mangas, and that was just volumes 5 and 6 in Spy Family. I really love this manga series. It's so much fun to me. I'm just gonna rate every single book in the manga 4 stars because I've only ever read this manga series, and then I've read like the first 6 volumes of Attack on Titan, and I don't know what to rate them. I just have a good time. But yeah, I rated these ones 4 stars. It's just very wholesome and funny. You get through them really quickly, and I just have a really, really great time with this series. It's great for palate cleansers if you're reading like intense books, to read one just like in the middle of it. It's also a perfect bath time read if you're a big bath person like me, because these take like an hour to read. So if you are taking a bath, these are great to read in the bath. So that was it. Those were all of my reads for the month of February. It was not super crazy. I had a busy month. My sister got married, and then just, I don't know, other stuff was going on. It was kind of crazy. I want to read a lot more in March, and hopefully I have some high-rated books in March and no more 2 stars, please. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these books that I talked about today and what your thoughts were on them. I will just see you in my next video. Goodbye.